Welcome back. How many times do you stay in a room, a job, a relationship, or a season long after you are completely drained and the situation no longer serves you? Not because you actually want to be there, but because you are concerned about your image and what it would make you look like if you left. Because walking away felt like it would make you the bad person. We have been taught to celebrate endurance at any cost, to call exhaustion loyalty, to call self abandonment strength, and when someone finally chooses self preservation because it no longer works for them, they get labeled as selfish. But today I want to offer a different perspective. I want to talk about Orpah, the woman in the Book of Ruth, who chose the quiet bravery of knowing when to walk away. Most of us know the story of Ruth. Her words have been repeated for generations. Where you go, I will go. Her devotion is honored and rightly so. But right beside Ruth was her sister-in-law, Orpah. Ruth was not the only woman grieving on that road. Orpah had also lost her husband. She had also wept with Naomi. She had also begun the journey away from everything familiar. Both women loved Naomi. Both women wept over their shared grief. Both women started walking down that road toward Bethlehem. But then Naomi stopped, looked them in the eyes, and gave them a reality check. She told them the truth. I have nothing left to give you. There is no security for you on my path. She did not pretend the road ahead would be easy. She told them plainly that she had no future to provide for them, no security, no certainty. Ruth summoned the strength to walk with Naomi into the unknown, while Orpah found equal resolve to return and face her past. Both choices required immense strength. Orpah was a woman who listened to the truth, looked at an empty future, and made a practical, boundary-honoring decision to protect herself. She did not leave without love. The story says she wept. She embraced Naomi. She kissed her goodbye. Sometimes walking away from a situation that no longer has a future for you is not betrayal. It's wisdom. You can honor the memories of what a job, a friendship, or a partnership used to be, while having the courage to admit that you have outgrown the room. Some people have framed Orpah's choice as a lack of faith, but perhaps it was not weakness at all. Perhaps she understood that love never requires you to follow someone into a future that cannot hold space for you. There are many people carrying situations that have already ended simply because they fear being judged for putting them down. You may love someone and still need distance. You may appreciate what a job gave you and still know it's costing too much to remain. You may cherish a friendship's history and still recognize that it no longer feels safe, mutual, or nourishing. Leaving is not always an act of rejection. Sometimes it's an act of self-respect. Sometimes it's knowing when to exit with dignity. Not every hard season is meant to be endured forever. Not every commitment requires you to lose yourself. Not every open door is still your assignment. Orpah's story reminds us that there is wisdom in listening when life tells the truth, and sometimes the truth is this: there is nothing more for me here. If you had to close a door recently and guilt has followed you since that decision, let this bring peace to your spirit. Outgrowing what once fit does not make you disloyal, and ending something that was draining the life out of you does not erase the love you once had for it. Choosing yourself is an act of courage. Naomi did not curse Orpah for leaving. She released her. Walking away from a situation that no longer has a future for you is not betrayal. Sometimes it's wisdom. You can deeply love someone and still recognize that their path isn't yours to walk. There is maturity in knowing when to hold on, and there is maturity in knowing when to let go. You are not required to destroy your well-being just to prove your heart was genuine. You do not have to remain in a place that keeps asking you to abandon yourself. So this week, sit with this question: where am I staying out of guilt rather than from a genuine sense of calling? Be honest with yourself. You can honor what was, you can grieve it, you can bless it, and then you can walk toward a future where you will thrive. Like Orpah, you are allowed to say goodbye. Give yourself permission to make the decision that keeps you whole. You don't need to explain it to people who only measure love by how much you suffer for them. Stop pouring into spaces that leave you empty. Not every goodbye is a loss. Some goodbyes are a return to yourself. We'll leave it there for today. Remember, you are deeply valued, and just like Ruth, every step of faith quietly builds a foundation for what comes next. See you next time.